There's nothing to ask me about Gilas. There's nothing going on. We've had some conversations, but there's nothing that's been done so far. I think everybody's jumped the gun on this, and I think that's up to the SPP. I think they're still up in the air about it, and um, I have had some conversations with them, but there's been nothing definite, and I think you have to wait for their announcement and how they want to do it, and if that's exactly, if I'm the guy.
Which one was the last time you did that?
Oh, last week. Last week I spoke to them, but I think everybody's kind of jumping the gun here.
So what's no agreement or nothing,
No.
anything about?
No, not yet. I'm hoping and for my, it's kind of a not yet, but I'm not sure that I'm the one they're settling on yet.
But have they shown their interest in keeping you as the
They've
coach?
interviewed me, and they've talked to me about it, and but there's been no firm answer yet. So that's where we are at this point.
Coach, just your thoughts about the possibility of coaching next month.
Well, I know that they're kind of in a hurry because it's February windows in a few weeks. I guess about 5 weeks, I guess, and they still got to assemble the team and do all kinds of things. But it's not on me to announce anything or say anything. It's really on the SPP. If you want to find out what's going on, you got to go to the source and go to the SPP president or director, either Erica or Sir Al Emilio. It's not on me to say anything at this point because there's nothing been. They're the ones that are making the decisions, not me.
What would that say? Does that mean their commitment is 100% with the number right now?
Well, it's always 100% commitment to it. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know, and again, I don't want to speak for the SPP, but I don't see this, if you're going to use PBA players or the Japan players on your team, then you can't have a full-time job doing the Gilas. It's just not enough work. It's only 3 windows. Basically, for this year, you're talking maybe maximum, and that's if you advance during the middle window, maximum 8 games. But most likely, you're talking about maybe 5 to 6 games this year. And you can't pull out all the PBA players to practice with them all year, or even a month or 2 before each window. So, there's really not a lot of work for a head coach. I'm just telling you my opinion. But if you had another program where you get young college players and you put the team together and now you practice them every day, that's another program. So it really depends, I think, how SPP is going to decide to handle it. My opinion is you need the best players in the country to represent you. And you got to figure out a way to get the stakeholders to allow you to get the best players in the country, including PBA, including Japan, including Korea, and allow them to, give you the time to work with these guys. So you got to figure out a program that will allow them to do that. It's not that simple just to say, okay, we want these guys for 2 months to practice. And what are these leagues going to do? What is the PBA going to do for 2 months without all their stars in the league? So I say it's not a simple thing. And again, the other way is to get a bunch of young players, like we've done in the past, try to groom them, and try to practice them every day, and send them out and back for practice games, and let them grow through a number of years. But 2 things with that in my mind: you're not sending your best players because they won't be your best players. And number 2, can you keep young guys together for a long time? We've proven over and over again that young guys want to grow and do other things and be other people. And it's hard to keep a team together for 4 or 5 years, which would take to keep a team, to get them to reach their full potential. I'm talking about young guys. So you have to decide how you want to do it. If anybody else has any other ideas, and I'm sure the SPP would be willing to talk about it. But I'm just strictly here, strictly on my own, with my own opinions. I'm not speaking for anybody. So, so you have to decide. You're gonna try to get the 12 best players in the country, or the 12 best players that you can assemble, or do you want to go with a young group and go with them? You're gonna get the 12 best players in the country. They're not gonna just stop playing in the PBA or stop playing in Japan or stop playing in Korea to come over here for 2 months and practice. Teams won't let them either. I certainly don't want Scotty and Japeth and Jamie or whoever else they take to leave our Inebra team for 2 months, you know, and I have to play without them. So, you know, there's other issues. It's more complex than the simple thing of let's just put a team together and have a Gilas team together and have them run. That's been our problem through the years. That's the problem of every league in the world right now. I mean, these windows are 3 times a year. Lithuania is having the same problems. Iran, you know, because they have their own leagues also. And you just can't pull the best players out of the country away from the leagues.
For this coming window, which you mentioned was 5 years away, what would you think would be the best approach for whoever is going to be?
I don't really want to, again, I just leave out the options. So, I've always firmly believed from back in 1998, when I coached there, that you got to go out and get the 12 best players in the country to represent you. If you want to have a chance against the Europeans or the Americas or even the teams like China and Lebanon, Iran, and Australia, you can't go with your lesser teams and expect to beat those guys, can you? I mean, is that a fair expectation? It's not a reasonable expectation. You bring your 12 best players, that's a reasonable expectation. You know, maybe, you know, we play great and we are together and we've developed as a group over time, then that's a reasonable expectation that they can compete at that level. But bringing 2 young guys, I don't think you can compete at that level. I don't care if it's Eric Spoelstra or Phil Jackson or whoever's coaching that team.
But you did say that, you know, your last talk with SPP was last week. Can you just tell us?
I can't disclose anything that I spoke with them. That's not fair to them and even to me at this point. So, again, if you want to talk about the SPP, you want to talk about the position, you need to go to the source. I'm not the source. SPP is, again, I think you have to talk to them. First of all, I don't want to get myself in trouble here. You know, I might be saying stuff that they don't want me to say, so. I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to read between the lines.
Thanks, Coach.